how are you?
Good, thanks. Yeah, you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Did you find the gym okay?
Yeah, really easy, thanks.
Okay, perfect. So you're here for your consultation, so just go straight through.
Brilliant,
Thank you. So Vicky, thank you again for coming in today for your consultation. Just a bit of background about myself. I am a level 3 personal trainer and I will be helping you with your fitness journey. So today is all about just understanding your goals and what it is that you're looking for as a member of this gym. So I'm going to be asking you a load of questions. If at any point you don't understand, just stop me. Likewise, if you have any questions, just let me know. Everything that we discuss here will be 100% confidential. If there's anything that you don't want me to write down, note down, just let me know. Are you happy to carry on?
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, as part of the consultation, I'll be taking a few measurements from you. So I'll be using the measuring tape to measure your waist and your hips. Yep. Are you happy for me to do that?
Absolutely.
As well as that, I will take your height measurement and also get you to stand on some scales and take your weight as well to record your BMI.
Okay.
We're all happy to do that?
Absolutely.
Okay, excellent. Before I go into further discussion, I need to complete a questionnaire. This is the Physical Activity Readiness Questionnaire. We call it the PARQ. And basically this will help me understand whether you are fit and healthy enough to be able to start any sort of exercise. So there's a series of 7 questions which I will ask you. Yeah. And I just want you to answer yes or no, basically, as well. We'll just go through them quickly. So first one, has your doctor ever said that you have a heart condition and that you should only do physical activity recommended by a doctor?
No.
Okay. Do you feel pain in your chest when you do physical activity?
No.
No. In the past month, have you had chest pain when you were not doing physical activity?
No.
Do you lose your balance because of dizziness, or do you ever lose consciousness?
No.
No. Do you have a bone or joint problem, for example, back, knee or hip, that could be made worse by a change in your physical activity levels?
No.
Is your doctor currently prescribing any drugs, for example, water pills for your blood pressure or heart conditions?
No.
No. And do you know of any other reason why you should not do physical activity?
No.
No. Okay, perfect. So because you answered no to all of that, honestly, it just means that you're able to start becoming more physically active, slowly build that up gradually. We don't want to go straight into high intensity workouts, and that you're able to take part in any fitness appraisals. So basically it just means that you're an excellent candidate to start your fitness journey. I just need you to sign this and then I will add that into your records on the system. Perfect, thank you. So Vicky, what are your overarching goals for your fitness journey?
So I have never really done running. Ultimately, it'd be amazing if I could do a half marathon. Okay. But totally appreciate that I need to kind of build up to that. So I've always fancied doing a Tough Mudder. But I need to make sure that I'm physically fit enough for that, and also doing a 5k run. I think that might be quite a good kind of lead into it. Yep. So yeah, just really building up my ability to do the running to then do the half marathon.
Okay, so building your endurance base. So there's a theme here for running. Okay, cool. That's something that we can work on. So now, Vicky, I would just like to have some more information about what your current lifestyle is like. So just a little bit about what your work is and if you've got any hobbies.
Okay, so I have a very desk-based job, a lot of sitting down. I do go into the office twice a week, so there's a bit of balance there. I do like to go to the gym, and I like to do swimming, but I would say that my hobbies are definitely more kind of sedentary based, kind of creative. I do journaling, I really enjoy that kind of, those sorts of hobbies.
And at the moment, how often do you go swimming?
So I do either a gym class or swimming at least 3 times a week, I would say. I'm at the gym. Okay. And
your gym classes involve what exactly?
So I would do like an aqua fit or an aqua jog. So that's kind of aqua jog. You're not able to stand up, so you have to like keep treading water the whole time, but while doing kind of keep fit effectively. Yep. Aqua Zumba is kind of the dance moves that you would do in a Zumba class, but in the water. You can just stand up on that one. Or I do a Shabam class, just like normal, not in the water.
Yeah, outside of the water. Yeah,
outside the water. And a Shabam dance class. So okay. I really like kind of that's what I tend to do, those sorts of classes. I find the structure really helpful of going and knowing I've got to be there by a certain time, and then I do the class and then I go. That works really well for me.
Perfect. Thank you. So you did slightly touch on this in the last question, but just again, just so that I have it for my notes, do you have any preferences for exercise or any certain movements that you enjoy doing?
Yeah, so anything involving music, that kind of rhythm stuff really works well for me. Definitely like anything in the water, swimming or any aqua classes, and yeah, just sort of dance-based classes, definitely say my preference.
Okay, great. So just wanted to apologise, Vicky, we've had to move rooms because we've got some building work going on near the main consultation room, so we've come into here. And this is Poppy, who's the gym dog, who's decided to join us, so I hope you're okay that she's here with us. Okay, so the next part that I wanted to discuss was what do you think your barriers will be with you trying to achieve the goals that you mentioned?
So my job is quite heavy going, so definitely at the end of the day it can be quite difficult to get the motivation to kind of go out, or although I can be in the office 2 days, that might be 3 days, so kind of it's that timing that's required. And I do have to admit, with the dark evenings, it is quite difficult to kind of get the motivation to keep going, to get out once you've kind of finished work. So I'd say they're my main barriers. Okay,
so just with the barriers, what we can do to strategize and overcome that. So just with your job, what we could do is maybe schedule in shorter workouts. So let's just say we've got something in place for an hour. And if you know that maybe you need to go into work maybe earlier, depending on the time of day, that would fit. So we'll discuss that a bit later on. If, say, we've got a 60-minute session arranged, maybe we could reduce that down to 45 minutes or even half an hour, just so that we can get a workout included in the day. So that could be something that we can look into. And there are always workarounds and adaptations that we can make. Likewise with post-work motivation, you could maybe have a gym buddy, someone that goes with you, so you've got accountability there. You could maybe schedule a workout during a specific time, so we can always work around things that way.
Okay, great.
Okay, so we've gone through your barriers. Now I'd like to just talk about what will motivate you and any key motivators that you will have that will help you stick to your goals.
So I think having like in a sense of an accomplishment. So I like to track when I've achieved something and being able to like tick it off or kind of mark it to say, yep, I wanted to do, say, 3 workouts and I've done that in a week. So that is definitely one of the things, and that really good reward system, so that I've got kind of, I did this, so many times in a week or so many times in a month. So kind of really having that kind of feedback loop for me is definitely quite helpful, I think.
Okay, great. So the way that we can incorporate that is having a goal is obviously the main reason for this. Actually, that's one of the reasons why people usually fail when they start something like a fitness journey, is because they don't actually know what they are aiming for. So having a goal, a set of goals, is very important. A bit later on, we will talk about SMART goals. That's basically how we make sure that they're specific to what you want to do and how we can achieve them. Focusing on the benefits of what you will get out of your fitness journey is also very important. And then that reward system that you say that you already work with in your life. So just having that built in around maybe food. So if, say, for example, you're going out for a run or a walk or something, and then you could say that at the end of this, I will give myself a coffee or whatever it might be. So just ensuring that you have that accountability and then rewarding yourself at the end.
Nice. Good.
So we just touched on food there. I just want to talk a little bit about the food diary that you submitted. So thank you very much for doing that. I know it must have been quite challenging to write down everything that you ate in a week, because it was a 7-day food diary. Just the main feedback for that is very noticeably that you aren't eating enough, in the sense that you need to fuel yourself for your current workouts that you're doing, so the classes that you're attending, and very important to make sure that you eat afterwards as well, in order to aid recovery. But we can go into a lot more detail with that if you want to work towards a food plan. The other main thing that stuck out was you really need to increase your protein intake. So later on we can go into much more detail about how protein benefits the body, especially when you're working out, but it's mainly for recovery purposes and to help build your muscles, because when you do work out, we break down the muscles that we're working on, and then we need to eat protein in order to build them back up. That's essentially what protein is for. But you did have protein in your diet, so you are eating protein and you are eating well, but at this point, and what we want to achieve, we want you to be eating better.
Yeah.
So just those key things, making sure. And you did highlight on the parts in one of the columns where you felt hungry, and that correlated to obviously after your workouts and where you didn't have enough food. That's why you felt hungry.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But overall, you had a good sound balance of fruits and vegetables, and you were eating enough carbs. So, but like I said, we can go into more detail on that.
Helpful.
Okay, Vicky. So now I'm just going to go through what your SMART goals are going to be. So I'm just going to explain what SMART goals are to begin with. You may or may not have heard of these before, but we need to ensure that the goals are SMART, being the acronym. So you need to make sure that the goal is specific, that it's measurable, whether we can achieve it, and that it's in a realistic time frame. So every time we need to write down a goal, whether we can achieve it or not, we need to make sure that we fulfill those acronyms. So I'm just now going to go through your short, medium and long-term goals. So we're breaking up the SMART goals into 3 different sections. So I've given you 12 months to achieve your overarching goals, and that is enough time for you to complete your 5k run, move on to completing the Tough Mudder that you want to do, and then the ultimate goal, which is the half marathon. So the short-term goal, breaking up into month 1 to 4. So whatever we have, we want to accomplish within that time frame. So that is to build foundational strength, make sure that we have consistency, and at the end of month 4, or maybe even before that, but the time cap is the end of that, you want to have been able to finished maybe a park run or signed up for a 5k race. So that is in the short term what we're looking to do. Medium term will be from month 5 to 8. That's where we can change our training plan so it's more strength specific to doing a Tough Mudder. So working on grip strength, working on being able to move your own body weight around because you have to go over obstacles and things like that. So the ideal time frame for that is that we want to accomplish a Tough Mudder by the end of that period, so month 8. So it would be a good idea to now look at, if you go on the Tough Mudder website, to see what dates they have. It's also based by location. So depending on our plan, how that correlates to what location they have their events on. But it should be straightforward, just go into the website and have a look. And then the long-term goal, which is from month 9 to 12. I say that's month 9 to 12. Everything that we've been doing up until that point has been contributing to the ultimate goal, which is the half marathon. So with the running, even though the 5k run was at the end of month 4, we still want to continue doing some sort of endurance training because there will be a running element in Tough Mudder. So you want to be consistently being able to maybe run a 5k up until that point. And then for your long-term goal, we switch that up and we will do a 12-week half marathon training plan. And what you find will happen there is we will reduce the strength training slowly as the weeks go on, just so that we don't overtrain, cause any injuries. And you don't want to overdo it because we want to be able to safely be able to run that half marathon. So that's the general gist of what the goals will look like. Within them, we need to make sure that they are specific to what you're doing. So we've already mentioned that. Whether they're measurable. So I know you're already good at journaling and tracking things down. So you mentioned previously, before coming to the consultation, that you have an Apple Watch. So we can track all the workouts, all the running sessions, everything that we do on that. So that way you'll have a consistent log. So we'll be able to see any improvements as well. Or if we reach any sort of plateaus or anything like that, if we need to switch up the training. That's really good feedback to have on the watch. As well as that, when you first start off doing your running, have you heard of the Couch to 5k app?
Yes.
So that is amazing for anyone that's starting their running journey, and all of the workouts are built into that app.
Okay.
And what you can also do is log that onto the actual run onto an app called Strava.
Okay.
But I don't want you to get too overwhelmed by the number of apps that you might have to record things on. So we'll see what's the best way to track the runs. Your Apple Watch should be able to do all of that.
Okay.
I usually go on by Garmin. I don't have an Apple Watch, so we can sit down and have a look at that. As well as that, you've got your own log that you can have in your journal, so you can tick those off, see how many sessions you've done over a month, and then just give feedback on that.
Excellent.
Any questions on that? I know that's quite a lot of information I've probably thrown at you.
No, I think it's really clear. Thank you. Yeah.
So thank you for going through your goals. Now, how I can help you with that is by putting together a program for you. I will go through on that program each of the different components. So there'll generally be a warm-up, there will be exercises for you to do, so they'll be based on what your goals are, an endurance part and a strength building part, and then there'll be a cool down. So there'll be loads of different words on there that probably you either don't understand or haven't heard of before. Most of them will probably be the names of the movements or the type of machine that you'll be using at the gym. For your first session, I will be there with you. So I'll go through each of the movements and show you what all of the bits of equipment are, but mostly the ones that you will be using. Later on, I will go through your different goals, your SMART goals, but they'll be broken down into short, medium and long term, and throughout that the movements and the machines that you'll be using will change just because of the nature of the goals. But when that does happen, I will be there with you to show you exactly what you need to be doing, as well as demoing what the movement needs to look like and how you should be performing each of the movements. So just on the different types of movements that you will be doing, there are generally 3 different types of movements. So they are free weights, resistant machines and body weight movements. Again, each one will be highlighted and mentioned, and I'll go through each of them on the program card with you. But essentially, free weights is a movement that you'll be using with a piece of equipment which isn't attached to a machine or anything. So you'll probably know equipment such as dumbbells or kettlebells. So you are holding that piece of equipment yourself and then moving around that, hence the word free weight. Resistance machine is a machine at the gym that is you either push or pull or use with a part of your body, and it's creating the resistance that you need to work on the weight that is required, hence the word resistant machine. There's loads of those at the gym and you'll see them everywhere. And then the last one is body weight. So those are the types of movements that is, like the name suggests, just your body weight. You don't use any bit of equipment. So they're usually pulling, pressing movements. So pull-ups, press-ups, but equally they can be movements such as squatting that you don't need any equipment for. But again, I know that was a lot of information, but when we do get to the movements, I will go through them with you. Any questions on any of that?
No, it's pretty clear.
Okay, Vicky, so a very helpful discussion. We've gone through your 3 goals. We've gone through what the SMART goals are for each of those. We've spoken about your barriers and how to overcome them, and things that will help motivate you and hold accountability for you to achieve what you want to achieve. We've briefly touched on your lifestyle, occupation and hobbies, and we very briefly went through the food diary that you had submitted as well. Now what I need to do is take a few measurements. So we discussed that at the beginning. I'm going to take a height measurement and going to take your weight as well. And with that, I'm going to calculate something called your BMI. So that stands for Body Mass Index. Have you heard of that before?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So what that is basically is just a quick and simple way to estimate if your weight is in a healthy range according to your height. Now, one very important thing to note is that BMI doesn't take into consideration the difference between muscle mass or fat distribution. But still we will use your BMI as a starting point, and then we can work our way up from there. Do you have any questions on anything we've discussed so far?
So one of the questions was just around the short, medium and long-term goals and the timing of that, just about whether that's achievable to kind of reach each of those in the time.
So the program will be laid out in a way that it will give you some sort of window as well, just in case something comes up and you might not be able to complete certain sessions or a certain run or whatever it is that is programmed. You know, depending on the type of year it is, you know, you might be on holiday, they might have a period of sickness. So it's not strict in the sense that you have to get something completed in, for example, 4 weeks. If you're on holiday or if something happens, we've got some leeway. Equally, if along the way we find that you've accomplished something quicker than anticipated, it doesn't mean then that we need to wait the extra week or whatever the time is in order to get to the next part. We can be flexible and adapt to how you make progress.
Okay, that's really helpful. Thank you.
Okay, so we're just going to go into the next room now and just take your measurements.
Okay, yeah, thanks.
Okay, Vicky, so just going to take measurements for your height. So if I can just get you to stand, heels touching the wall, that's it. Okay, perfect, thank you. Okay, Vicky, next we are going to take your weight measurement. So if I can just ask you to stand on the scales, please. Okay, if you look up straight. Perfect, thank you. Okay, Vicky, now I'm going to take 2 measurements, one around your waist and one around your hips. So I'm just using this measuring tape. So I'm just going to come round if that's okay. Thumbs up. Okay, we'll just write that down. Okay, so I'm just going to do your hips now. Okay, thank you. Okay, so that concludes the ending of our consultation. You can see Poppy's again joined us, this time wearing a jumper. So I just wanted to touch on reviewing the goals periodically and regularly, just so that we're constantly in touch and I know exactly what's happening. And if there's anything that's happening at your end that you need to relay back to me, you might not always have the opportunity to, just because busy with your work or whatever it might be, to keep me up to date with any progress or lack of progress that you'll be making. Not saying that that is something that will happen, because we have put things in place that will help with accountability. But we need to be regularly reviewing each of the goals and each of the workouts that we have implemented on the program card. Just on that, if there's anything on the program card that you don't understand, or if it doesn't make sense, even after I've explained it to you, just let me know. We can always talk through it, we can always review it, and it can always be adapted. So I just want to check the next time that we can schedule in our next appointment. So yes, I had it in the diary for in 2 weeks' time, Friday at 6 p.m. Does that still work?
That works really well.
Okay, perfect. So that will be the date of our next personal training session. I will then schedule in the date for the reviews that we'll be doing on track with the SMART goals. I can send them to you as well so you can update your journal.
Great.
And have everything in there. Any other questions that you have?
Really
if at any point afterwards you think of anything, just let me know. The best way to contact me will be via WhatsApp. But if you need to give me a ring, I'm also happy to do video calls if that is helpful. Especially if there's anything that you don't understand the movement, and I can demo you on the video call. That's not fine. Really equally, if there's any information that you need to send to me, you've got my email address. And I think that's everything. Also, just want to touch on, if health-wise anything changes, even if it's like, you know, you're feeling unwell and you need to cancel a PT session, or if anything just comes up, because we need to make sure we have that questionnaire, the health questionnaire that we did at the beginning, updated at all times.
Okay, that's really makes sense.
Okay, if there's nothing else, then I will see you in 2 weeks' time.
Thanks so much.
No worries. Take care.
Bye.